from London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping bring you the motivation, inspiration, and some other stuff to help kickstart your day. Hoo-yah! This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Join the motivation. Join the motivation.
Good morning! Huge welcome to episode 22 of the weekly Learn, Develop, Live podcast. My name is Chris Jaggs and I'm your host. How is your world today? How is it all going for you? The topic of the world is still very much about coronavirus and the huge impact it's having on literally everyone. At the Jaggs bunker here, well, I've been working from home for about two weeks, 2 and a bit weeks. Casey's been home from school Monday last week, and for most, the world has been turned upside down. People work from home, some people just off, and others have unfortunately lost their jobs. The UK is in lockdown, but I'm amazed to see how many people are still out and about. The other weekend, people going to the beach, the park. What is the concept of social distancing? Clearly it wasn't clear, was it? Wasn't understood. But then the wake-up call was Prime Minister Boris Johnson addressing the nation. Stay at home was the message, and this was watched by a reported 28 million people, more than Harry and Meghan's royal wedding. So, with all that said, fewer people, fewer cars, streets are quiet, shops are starting to, be fully stocked. Apart from it, what was the point of this panic buying the other week? Toilet roll. The stuff's made in the UK, and the last time I checked, the coronavirus, it doesn't give you the shits, does it? Anyway, panic surrounding COVID-19 or coronavirus, what do you want to call it? This caused a lot of stress. It's caused a lot of anxiety out there. Confirmed cases rising, the business world upside down, and worrying for your loved ones. It's completely understandable that people feel just a little bit emotional right now. But with so many of us working from home, this has made a huge change in the normal routine, mine especially. But it is also important that we are taking care of ourselves and definitely taking care of our mental health. With all the above stress combined with no social contact for the next few weeks, maybe months, it's fair to say cabin fever will be setting soon. Probably has set in for some already. But just to add to it though, I think I read that the divorce rate in China actually shot up 80% since the outbreak. And, all these people living in each other's pockets every day, all day. Clearly it isn't healthy for anyone, and that's probably the reason why the off licenses have all been allowed to stay open. People will be able to get their alcohol, and long term, maybe it's the booze that will actually keep the divorce rates down. You never know. What was really good to see in the chaos of the world, 8 p.m. on Thursday the 26th of March, where were you? There was a round of applause for the Care for Carers campaign, which saw millions on their doorsteps. Balconies, hanging out a window, clapping, and the NHS, National Health Service, if you didn't know that. Nurses, shout out to the doctors, the retail staff, milkmen, postmen, delivery drivers, and national thank you to anyone that I've missed. These are the people that are keeping the country moving. And without you guys, we'd be stuffed, wouldn't we? But thank you to all of you. For me, the biggest win has been being home with the family. If you think of your own family unit, most of your immediate family might be living under the same roof. Some go to school, others to work. Small people could be watching CBeebies, or adults too, I'm not discriminating. You get up out of bed at whatever time. Some go to school, others to work. You do your day, meeting friends, working, catch up with events of the world, and then at some point, normally you end up back home, all under the same roof, just where you all started when you rose yourself out of bed. Each person in that unit, they all have their own life. Yes, they might share it with a significant other, but they do go and do their day, then come back to base camp. So despite your different lives, you do end up, or most of the time, returning back to those. And the biggest win for me, that has been during the lockdown, is just being here. Waking up slightly later than normal, logging onto a laptop at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, start the day. Travel's been cut out of my life, and I've been a rebel. Have stayed up maybe a little bit later than normal. Yes, hardcore, I know. But we normally do have the little man. He's up, around that time that I get up. And I don't know, the boy he's like a Duracell bunny. He never stops moving. Where does the boy get his energy? And then we have Casey, she'll be up, and then I try and give her about half a bit of a lay-in. And we have breakfast together, most of the time. I can carry on working, and then Casey will set her schoolwork rolling in her room. Now, the beauty from working from home has been the increased family time. I'll see Casey a few times throughout the day. We all still have lunch together so far. And Finney will come in, shout for a bit, and then he'll muck about. We'll have a few minutes playing, and then he'll go on his merry way until next time. But over the past weekend, a video emerged on social media from the Social Co, which got plenty of people talking about the current situation. The world that we live in right now. And it's very similar to what I said earlier. Now look, I won't explain it. You may have seen the video already, but I'll just play it for you here now, and I'll let the audio do the rest.
The coronavirus crisis is changing life as we know it dramatically tonight.
I can't wait for a year's time, when all of this is a distant memory. And there is a corona baby boom because all the lovers were loving. And there is a rise in small businesses because all the entrepreneurs had a moment of stillness and creativity. And all the children remember nothing but a time when all the mums and dads were at home drawing and playing ball games, and we remember it as the time we all got to stop and be present. We will remember the time our health was our first priority, and people learned new ways to use fresh produce to feed their families. We remember the laughter and fun on TikTok, FaceTiming with our friends and family each day, date nights in the house, and home PE workouts with Joe Wicks. A time our real heroes in the NHS urged us to stay at home for the greater good, and our country showing their support by turning Wembley and the Angel of the North blue. And we were all forced to think outside the box and dream up new things and reinvent old ways, and for once, even amongst the chaos, there was community. There was a global rise in togetherness, and as the streets were quiet, our homes were bustling with love and laughter. That time is coming soon, just like any other crisis before it. This will all be a distant memory, a thing we soon listen to our children discuss in classrooms, or once was, that we share with our grandchildren. So to you, I know it's unsettling, but focus on the silver lining. We're all in this together, and there is so much beauty to see.
Wow. Doesn't matter how many times I watch it, still pretty good. It had loads of celebrities commenting, just asking who made this video. It's good to see some positivity in the world for a change. If you want to learn more about the Social Co, you can go to their website, thesocialco.co.uk. The video is currently 23,000 views on YouTube, and positive comments. That's all you need right now. So back to the podcast. Self-isolation mixed in with a lockdown. I realised that, not everyone will have the people around them, and you might not even be working from home at all, and you're just sitting at home doing nothing. There's been definitely an increase on social media with regards to anyone that may be suffering with mental health and also anxiety issues. You're not alone. I think we just need to be a bit more creative with how we'll deal with these things. And there's a website at the end of this that I'll mention. But if you are working from home, as it has been 2 weeks or 3 weeks for some or whatever it is now, how are you doing? How's your setup? The problem for most people that have been working from home with this, just look, the amount of distractions, TV, pets, kids. How about the fridge or the cupboards? The one with the chocolate biscuits. They're calling you, aren't they? The odd day work from home is a lot easier than the full transition, I know. Going from the office or your normal job site to potential, maybe your living room, maybe a spare room, maybe a bedroom. It will take time to get it right. I know this myself. I've been there. There are things that you can do to help, though. You can help change your work balance and try to get your head in the right mindset from this old remote working business. Let's start with actually waking up. Now, although you may have some extra time in bed without a commute, you should look at trying to wake up around the same time every day. This will actually help stabilize your internal clock. True story. And also, it will actually improve your sleep overall. Now, from this, you will feel less tired. I've tried it. It works. You'll feel more refreshed, and you'll actually find it easier to concentrate throughout your day. But look, I get it. One more episode of Family Guy and then bed. I get it. I do it sometimes. Don't tell anyone. You could be getting yourself ready for work day to day. Some people like to stay in the PJs, but if you want to completely change, get dressed. Start your day, get dressed. You normally would if you went to work, wouldn't you? Get yourself washed, get yourself ready, dressed, and as if you're going to the office yourself. This will actually help you get into the mindset that you're going to work. Some people need this. Now, when you set up your workspace, try to set yourself a separate area that you can work from. Maybe away from your sleeping area, as this will help you prepare for work mode. And it will actually make it easier for you to switch off at the end of the day because you're not in the same room that you spent all day in. You don't need a home office to do this. Maybe a small desk in a corner of the room. Maybe a laptop at the end of the kitchen table. So it'll do the trick here. Now, if you're working with a small space, you could try this one. Temporary setup zones. You could hang a blanket or a screen to visually separate your work area from your bed or your living area. And don't forget to clear your work surface of clutter. You just need to make yourself comfortable, really, don't you? Now, one thing you will lack from working from home is a lack of movement. I mean, if you're set up in the front room, how long is it going to take you to walk to the toilet? You get what I mean. Movement. If you are not self-isolating right now, try going for a walk or a jog. You can do it before you start your day. This will help you feel like you've mentally arrived at work. Doing the same when you finish your working day can actually help you feel that you're leaving your work mindset behind and you get to switch off. Like you're walking home. Right, so you're set up. You're good to go. Now, you could possibly stick to the routine you have normally when you're in the office. It's just you're at home. And you haven't got Dave coming over to tell you about his mad for it weekend, have you? That's an advantage. How about taking some breaks? If you're in the office, and now you would do this, you would probably go for a cup of coffee, refill the old water bottle. My Fitbit will vibrate 10 minutes before the next hour if I haven't done my 250 sets for the hour. So I'd be told off. Just because you're at home doesn't mean you should be taking breaks. Don't feel guilty. You wouldn't feel guilty if you're at work, would you? Now, staying in contact with your team in the outside world is hugely important. You don't want to lose sight of who you work with and also friends and family in the outside world. Now, with remote working, you can look at Skype for instant chat and video calls, as well as Zoom. I mean, how about picking up the phone? I know, the phone. Could you imagine talking on the phone and not just sending a text message? With your friends and family, social media traffic has definitely increased. Phone calls have increased. Video calls have increased. Video calls are also a lot more personal than the phone calls, as you can actually see each other on the screen. FaceTime, WhatsApp calls are pretty decent now. Even Facebook Messenger, that's improved a lot since it first started. Still ask you to rate the call though. And there's still a lot of noise at the moment about house party. You can have numerous conversations at one time with a load of people, big group chat, and also games and have a party. It is important that you feel happy while you have your dedicated space for your desk setup. Sometimes in the office, you might go to a quiet place, change the scenery. Sometimes I might disconnect the laptop from the screen and lay on the bed and work there for a bit. It's a bit of a change. Takes a bit of strain if you build up anything from not sitting properly. We're all human after, aren't we? It is important that you set up at home is comfortable for you. And this helps you with your remote working adventure, because it will. At the moment, who knows how long we'll be doing this for after all. Keep yourself in contact with the world as much as you can. Okay, look, I get, right, you can still go outside, but to a degree, so it's probably good to know what your options are for communication. Take a few examples from the earlier, try them out, you might really like them. It was said in the Sky News feature, I think just yesterday, that video calling with your friends or family actually gives you the same feelings as seeing them face to face. So it's a step forward. If you do have some concern with your mental health, the Samaritans are always doing an incredible job every single day. You can reach them on 116123, 24 hours a day. And if you want to get some other help from health services and helplines, you can get more information from mentalhealth.org.uk. And I'm still about as well. If you want to chat about anything at all, maybe using the time you're spending during the lockdown to start plan your next move, start a new project, maybe some self-improvement. My calendar is always open for you, and you can find it at ldlcall.com or send me a text message on 07801 543 515. It's a scary world out there, but you are not out there alone, and people will want to help you. You just need to take the first step and help yourself. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at LearnDevelopLive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. Motivation.